our focus again is, really put the members first. And I think when the community understands how much you deeply value their feedback and how they can see that in action, they can see the experience of making a request and that request is attended to immediately. They respect that from teams, and you earn the trust of the community. And for us, it happened in a very authentic manner. We never had a lot of big influencers and things like that around the product. It was really just a group of people who wanted to build the best possible product for our members and look for ways to return as much value to them as possible. And over time, the community gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And now post-mint, we actually did open the Discord, and it's amazing because everyone is in there. We're having great conversations. We're doing community polls on what features to launch next. So yeah, we're a very tight-knit group.
Matias, thank you so much. We're here in beautiful Miami.
Clearly.
We're doing a podcast in person, which I originally started out the podcast doing a bunch of them in person. And I think just traveling a little bit less, had to scale it back, but super stoked to be doing this one in person. It's much better.
Definitely. We have a very scenic view. Thank you so much for setting this up.
Of course.
Excited to jump into everything.
No, hopefully we'll see some boats go by, maybe some fish jumping out of the water.
Yeah. Fisher Island here.
Fisher Island.
Biscayne over there. It's a nice little setup.
Good view. Yeah, no, but thank you for making the journey down here. Super excited to make this happen and talk about all the things that you've been doing with AssetDash.
Totally.
I think you guys have truly been killing it, and I think really growing a lot in the bear market, which is no easy feat.
Yep. DAUs are up over 2,000% this year. We definitely pride ourselves on being builders, particularly, building in the bear market. This will be now my third crypto cycle. And I feel like one common trend is, the best businesses and the best products in the space tend to be built in the bear market. And many reap the benefits, when the bull market comes around. But I feel like the bear market in general is a really awesome time to build because there's much less noise. So you can focus on what's important.
So when did you first get into the blockchain and kind of crypto world? What was your backstory?
Yeah, so it was around 2016. So prior to that, I was here based in Miami. I was doing marketing, but it was in the music and nightlife related space, doing, bookings at places like Bardot and Space. And then during that time, I had a friend who, kept nudging me saying, you need to look into Bitcoin. You need to look into Bitcoin. I'm telling you, you're going to love it. And sure enough, I ended up looking into it. Had that first aha moment when I sent my, first crypto transaction, realized like, this is revolutionary. There's something, here. And started off just creating content in the space, creating Telegram groups, like sharing my thoughts on different things in the crypto space. That led to, one part-time role, that led to another part-time role. All of those things ended up leading to, being one of the first hires on Unstoppable Domains. Still an advisor with them today. Great people, helped them grow to recently unicorn status. Great company. And I also served as VP of marketing at Roundhill Investments. They are an investment ETF management company that creates products targeting retail investors. So I was VP of marketing there, helped them grow to $1 billion AUM. And then through both of those experiences, it was very unique for me because one, on the crypto side, with my experience with Unstoppable and just being a personal investor in the space, and now the experience on the TradFi side, I noticed that there was a very big disconnect in the market where the average investor was actually investing across asset class and across multiple chains. And there wasn't a really great way to track all of those investments in one place. So when me and my co-founder set out to start AssetDash, what was interesting is we always wanted to solve that problem first, but we always knew that we would build services and products on top of that. And the first service and product we built on top of the AssetDash portfolio tracking solution was our rewards and deals, which I'm sure we'll jump into later in the show. And that's really what I think helped catapult us to the level we're at today.
That's amazing. And a great backstory. I think the industry started off, I think everybody kind of like viewed it as Bitcoin only first, and then Ethereum kind of came in and expanded in smart contracts. And really after this last cycle, it's not only Bitcoin, Ethereum, like there's a lot of blockchains, they do a lot of different things. And so just being able to track that portfolio across all these different ecosystems is no small feat. I think
totally.
One thing that you guys have done particularly well is just design it for the consumer in mind. And in crypto, I would say that's still unique because I think crypto engineers design products for crypto users instead of trying to just create the best possible product. Can you talk a little bit about just creating AssetDash and just making an amazing product?
Yeah, totally. So I would say first and foremost, and I appreciate those comments. First and foremost, our number one priority is the feedback from our members. So we've had over 20, 30,000 Twitter DMs since our launch. I've personally answered every single one of them.
That's crazy.
It's the first thing I do every single day when I wake up is answer all of those DMs. And I really do it because, one, I deeply do care about our members, but more so, their feedback is so important in shaping the product roadmap, right? We want to ensure that when we're building for what our members want, and their opinion is much more valuable than the opinion of anybody else, right? I think a lot of times what ends up happening is you get you can get into a situation where it becomes an echo chamber where it's just like the team thinking what they think is best, but at the end of the day, your members know what's best, and you should listen to them, and that's what we do. And then I think the second thing that we do is we really focus on building things that are tangible and provide direct value to you instantly, right? So not saying we're going to build a feature in 2 years. It's like, no, the feature is ready now, you can use it now, and this is how it's going to improve your investing experience from one day to the next. And then I would say probably the third component is really focus on making everything very simple. I think a lot of times in crypto things are very complex, and what we want to do is be a really great tool for all levels, from advanced all the way to newbie, right? We want all of those people in between to be able to use the product and have a great experience.
Yeah, no, again, great points. I think one of the hardest things, whether it's crypto or any product really, I think is trying to create that feedback loop of how do I actually iterate on my product. And you would be shocked by how many people don't do what you do and don't talk to their customers and then don't try to solicit, I would say, like negative feedback. And just as you said, I think it's very easy for founders amongst their team, especially, to kind of get in this echo chamber where they're like, yes, the product's great, everybody will love it, instead of talking with other individuals and being like, specifically, give me your honest review, but tell me what you like, but also, even more importantly, tell me what you don't like.
Totally.
And that's an extremely valuable skill.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's important, especially when building products, to just drop all the egos in the room and realize that the people who are actually using your product every single day, they're going to be able to point out things that you may not see, right? And if you don't have an open ear to that, you're going to miss out on a lot of incredible opportunities. And I would say some of our biggest and best product developments have really come from listening to our members. And I think our members genuinely know that. And they know that because they've seen direct feedback when they've posted something in our DM saying, I want to see this. And then the next day they wake up and that feature is there, right? And I think that is a huge part of the success that we had in this recent NFT mint is, our community knows that we listen to them. They know how much we value them.
I definitely want to get into the NFT stuff. Let me cover some of the AssetDash stuff there first, and then we'll definitely dive into the NFTs.
Yeah,
I think the other thing that you mentioned was just being able to ship quickly. And I think that, again, is another hallmark of a great team that executes, is kind of relentless in that shipping vision. Ask for feedback, ship, ask for feedback, ship. And I think the other thing that you did there is really, instead of prioritizing, say, desktop or like a browser extension, much as other crypto companies have done, really focus on, I think, where the space is going with the mobile first experience and designing the AssetDash to really be used in those products that we use every day, which is our phone. Can you talk about building a mobile first application?
Yeah, totally. So, first want to shout out my co-founder, George. He's a beast, and a huge reason why we're pushing out new features so quickly. The decision to go to mobile is one. I agree with you. I think that's where the space is going. I think the next bull market in crypto is going to be very, very mobile focused. The consumer apps on mobile, the potential blockchains like Saga that are like Solana that are pushing mobile experiences through Saga. I actually do think that's where the space is going, and there's plenty of data points from other industries to say that mobile is a fantastic touch point. A big reason why we focused with mobile with AssetDash is, to what you said earlier, The crypto experience is primarily desktop, right? If you want to swap tokens, if you want to use a lending protocol, things like that, majority of those experiences are happening on desktops. So for us, it wasn't just solving that all-in-one portfolio tracker component. It was, let's do that on mobile. It's a much better touch point. You're right in the pocket of the members, and it allows them to have a more, immersive and direct experience with the product when you're mobile first. And then we also expanded to web as well. So our goal is we want to be, number one wherever the members are. So whether that's iOS, Android, web, XNFT, we want to, try to lead the charge across all those different platforms.
You're killing it, man. It's hard to execute on all those things, and I think that's been the most impressive thing about your team. You've also added, outside of just purely crypto, equities as well. Can you talk about just kind of being the center hub for assets in general instead of just crypto only?
Yeah, we kind of see it like an operating system. So we want to be that central touch point that when you wake up and you want to get a hold on your entire investing life, you open up AssetDash, and we're like that first touch point for you. And we're becoming that for our members. I think something that's really impressive is our DAUs are extremely high. So when people come into the experience, they connect their investment accounts, they become very sticky. And the big reason for the TradFi side is, look, if we want to onboard the next, billion people to crypto, they're going to come from other investing backgrounds, right? Our space is very small. Majority of investors today are investors in things like stocks, real estate. So for us, it's really interesting because I would say a few times a week, we're getting people who come into our platform. They're just using it for TradFi, and we get an email saying, hey, how do I download a crypto wallet?
That's crazy.
Right. And the reason they want to download a crypto wallet is because they want to take part in, one of our deals that's crypto related, or they want to, take part in one of our giveaways that's crypto related. So for us, we want to ensure that community as well feels welcomed on AssetDash. And we always say, we don't care what you invest in. If you invest in something, we want to support it. Right. So we want to basically build across the stack to support all different investment types.
I love it. And I think outside of really, you guys have filled a giant hole that I think after Blockfolio got acquired by FTX, I think they're number one on daily active, weekly active, monthly active, kind of crypto user experience and all of crypto, and kind of one of the main reasons why FTX acquired them. But after kind of the whole FTX fiasco, there was a major hole in the market, and you guys have really stepped up, and I think also kind of expanded upon like that initial vision.
Yeah, totally. So one, definitely we've gotten a lot of members from that were prior Blockfolio users that are now members on AssetDash. I think the interesting part and kind of where we've set ourselves out and created our own lane for ourselves is the features and services we're building on top of the portfolio tracking. So, first and foremost, AssetDash is a network of verified investors. I think that's a really big difference compared to a lot of the portfolio trackers out there. If you want to unlock the most of the AssetDash experience, you need to verify your investments. So that's proving that you own this crypto wallet. That's proving that you actually own this Coinbase account.
And is that just like signing like a private key?
So we have two options, and our most popular option I'm really excited about. So I'm very privacy focused. One of the big reasons why I became so excited about crypto is I'm very focused on self-sovereignty and privacy. That's one of the main theses that got me so excited about getting into this space. So our number one way of verification now is actually something called proof of payment. So you send a microtransaction from your Solana or Ethereum address, and then once it hits our address, we automatically verify that you are the person behind that. Yeah. And then what happens is when you verify all your accounts on AssetDash, we then have a tiered-based system very similar to an American Express, right? So you could be a Vanta member, a Platinum member, a Gold member, a Silver member, a Bronze member. And these memberships are based on your verified investments. And then we unlock deals and rewards for you based on that. So for us, we always saw the portfolio tracking component as just the base layer. And now it's where the fun starts, is building on top of that base layer to create very unique experiences for our members.
Yeah, let's dive into that. I think you have built up now a great amount of people that use AssetDash, probably, again, one of the more used applications within crypto. Can you talk about building those experience now that you've kind of created that wedge for asset tracking?
Yeah, totally. So first and foremost, we generally do believe that members on our platform should be able to benefit from their verified investments, right? Because with that information, we are able to unlock deals and rewards for you. So an example of a deal and reward on the platform would be something like, 20% off a domain at Unstoppable Domains, 7% off a ledger, early access to Backpack. That was one of our more popular deals. Early access to Phantom multi-chain wallet is another one that we did. So what we then do is it's very similar to the Amex model, where what Amex does is they'll go partner with, Four Seasons or Hilton and say, you want our members in your hotel because they have shown that, they spend, money when they do things in the hospitality sector, right? For us, it's very similar, right? We've grown so much that brands really want to be able to access the AssetDash ecosystem to grow their own brand. But what we do is basically say, if you want to access the AssetDash ecosystem, you have to unlock a perk or reward for our members. So what we're always focused on is transferring that value back to our end members. And that creates this very unique reward experience where, if you're a platinum member, you can unlock certain deals. If you're a gold member, you can unlock certain deals. And then obviously Vanta, our highest tier, they get access to the best deals across the board. But I think it's a very unique concept. And most importantly, it's fun for our members, because who doesn't love getting rewards and perks on a weekly basis for using the app, right?
100%. And it's a super unique model, because I think it's either very hard or almost impossible to do that kind of in the TradFi world of like verifying the legitimacy, especially like across platforms. And I think that's uniquely enabled by crypto. So
they try it in TradFi, and the way they try to do it is through shareholder perks. So I think like Carnival Cruise has one, right? If you own shares of Carnival Cruise, you can get like a discount on a cruise. What we're basically saying is, look, we can get these verified investments across all the platforms, right? And then for our members, unlock opportunities and deals for them, whether it's things like Web2 brands or is it, Web3 brands, early access, things like that. So that part in particular, we're really excited about, because over 100,000 deals have actually been claimed by our members so far. So people are enjoying the experience.
Is there any like user metrics that you could share like publicly, or have you guys not disclosed like all those?
I would say just high level, especially now over the last month, our active base has tripled, about to quadruple. So we do have a significant chunk of the crypto space. And I think what's really exciting is not only do we have a significant chunk of the space, we have a very important core of the community that's very active and very crypto curious. And that's what we're really excited about, is our members are very passionate about what's happening in this space. They're willing to try things on chain. They're willing to, put money into new protocols, things like that. So for us, we feel like we're just getting started.
Amazing. Number up and to the right.
Exactly.
That's good. That's good. Cool. I think, another thing that you guys have been, I think, leaders on is just, I think that goes back to shipping relentlessly and kind of focused on the user experience, has been getting to these newer ecosystems, Sui, Aptos, Backpack, earlier, and adding kind of, as soon as something comes in, to your point, just being able to track all assets pretty much everywhere. Can you talk a little bit about just like the thought process of like being early to like some of these new ecosystems, and also even talking about what you've been kind of spearheading on the Backpack side?
For sure. So first and foremost, again, that goes back to listening to our members. So if our members are really passionate about a particular chain or a particular platform and they want to see it on AssetDash, then we're going to work to ensure that we get it on AssetDash. On the Backpack side, first and foremost, can't say anything but great things about that team. They're extremely talented, very smart, understand the space. They execute extremely well. So Legend actually came to me pretty early and said, I think you should check out this Backpack and X NFT thing. And we started building the next day. And I think the reason why it made so much sense to us from the beginning is we are in the process of shipping to the iOS and Android stores on a weekly basis, right? And I understand the flaws in those systems. I understand the pros of a more crypto-first platform to deploy. And I'm very bullish on Backpack. I'm bullish on their team. And, as I mentioned prior, we want to be number one across all platforms. We're not number one on Backpack yet. We're number two. But hopefully by early next week, we'll be the most downloaded XNFT. And our goal is by midsummer to have the entire AssetDash experience that you have on iOS available on Backpack. And by the end of the year, there'll be experiences through AssetDash that will only be available on Backpack, right? Because of the fact that there's simply features that we can do there that we're not able to do on an Apple iOS
Yeah,
app.
and can you maybe dive a little bit deeper into that? Like just being kind of at the forefront of Android at iOS, being mobile first, what experiences have you had on those platforms kind of maybe being a little less crypto focused and less willing to support crypto companies?
Yeah. So I think obviously those platforms are where you get the most distribution, and they have a lot of different ways in which you can be directly in the pocket of your members. So iOS, Android, we want to be very, very prominent on those platforms, and we'll always be building towards them. With Backpack, and I met with Tristan 2 days ago, and I was sharing some of these insights. The fact that Backpack is a wallet and the XNFT is directly part of that experience, it solves a lot of user pain points. And we have data on those pain points that it solves. It's really surprising. So for example, as I mentioned earlier, verification is a very important part of what we do at AssetDash. We unlock the best experience and the best rewards for our verified members. One, that's not only great for our members because it ensures that the deals are only going to quality people, but two, it's great for the brands that we work with, because when you deploy an AssetDash Learn course and try to grow your member base, it's going to verified members. It's not going to bots that are trying to, take rewards and things like that. So with Backpack, verification for members is instant, because when you open the actual XNFT, you're opening it from your wallet and there's a direct connection there. So, our verification rates on Backpack are 100%,
Crazy.
whereas on iOS and Android it's probably around like 70, right? And the user on the Backpack side needs to do nothing. They just need to open the XNFT. Whereas on iOS and Android, you do need to jump through a few hoops, and we're working to make it more seamless. But again, it goes back to the nature of the platform itself is a wallet first, and the app experience is built inside that wallet, so it naturally solves some of those pain points that on iOS and Android will always be there.
Fascinating. No, it is interesting just where this space is headed, and I think you guys have kind of perfectly positioned yourself for the crypto curious.
Yep.
Being able to not only track cryptos but also equities and other things in your portfolio, you're allowing people to dip a toe in the crypto waters even if they don't have as much comfortability, but still be able to go through the Web2 distribution paths, kind of like the best of both worlds.
Totally. And that's something that we're going to keep focused on and continue to build on. So we already support 150 different TradFi platforms. Our goal is to double or triple that number over the rest of this year. And it's really exciting to see people who come in and they're tracking their bond portfolio on AssetDash, and then we get an email saying, how do I set up a Solana wallet? Right? So we always look forward to those types of interactions with our members.
Crazy. No, it's extremely impressive. Well, maybe shifting a little bit, you guys are also making waves in the NFT space. Could you talk about that?
Yes. Shout out the AssetDash community. This Tuesday, we minted out our entire collection in 18 minutes. We didn't doubt it 1 second. We knew our community was really excited. And the NFT in itself, we're really excited about, because we do think it's a new paradigm that we're launching with Vanta. So the NFT is a premium membership to AssetDash. As I mentioned earlier, we have a tiered-based system in the app. Vanta unlocks the highest tier. So for us, we see Vanta becoming the premier Web3 rewards card, right? Where with that, you're getting access to deals, whitelist, discount, perks across different ecosystems, and you're also unlocking the top experience inside the app itself, which I think is really cool. So your portfolio calculations happen faster. You're getting priority notifications. You're going to have the ability to have custom skins. We have this exclusive Discord chat. So what we basically did is, we were thinking about it and we said, look, we always wanted to do Vanta tier. And when we're initially thinking about it, we thought maybe we just do a monthly subscription. And then we realized this is really boring, not innovative, and not what is going to revolutionize what memberships could look like.
Yeah.
So we tried to really take a different approach and launch the first AssetDash membership as a digital asset itself, as an NFT. And so far it's been a huge hit. Our community loves it, and we're really excited about the future of Vanta and where things are going.
No, the fact that you guys sold out in 18 minutes is impressive, to say the least.
Yeah, very impressive. And even the mint itself was more there was more volume in the mint itself than the average daily volume on Solana for the entire market over the weekend. So for us, it was really a testament to the power of our community, how much they love the product, how much they believe in what we're doing. And I do think the concept that we launched with Vanta, other consumer apps will end up launching as well. I do think, in a year, when you look at the Magic Eden leaderboard, for example, they'll have a consumer app section, right, where product first companies that launch memberships as NFTs. I think it's a very interesting use case that's only going to get more popular, and I'm excited that Vanta is going to lead the charge there.
100%. And I guess I think I read a tweet where I saw we're getting some tidal waves here in the background. I think I saw on Twitter that you guys didn't even have a Discord prior to launch, which is super unique.
Yes.
And I think even goes back to what you were saying on the power of the community. How did you guys build such a strong community, even prior to the NFT mint, but just to AssetDash more holistically?
Yeah, so the no Discord point is really interesting because, again, it goes to the power of the experience that our members have with our product. All communication about the mint happened directly in AssetDash, all updates, notifications, things like that. And it's a testament to how active our members are on the platform. They're checking in every single day. So we didn't need another platform to inform you about these things because we know that you're on AssetDash every single day and we know that you love the product. So that was something we're really excited about. And in terms of building the community, our focus, again, is, really put the members first. And I think when the community understands how much you deeply value their feedback and how they can see that in action, they can see the experience of making a request and that request is attended to immediately. They respect that from teams and you earn the trust of the community. And for us, it happened in a very authentic manner. We never had a lot of big influencers and things like that around the product. It was really just a group of people who wanted to build the best possible product for our members and look for ways to return as much value to them as possible. And over time, the community gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And now post-mint, we actually did open the Discord, and it's amazing because everyone is in there. We're having great conversations. We're doing community polls on what features to launch next. So yeah, we're a very tight-knit group.
What would your advice be to other founders trying to take lessons from AssetDash on just the vibrant community that you built? And maybe even speaking about before, did you run any community stuff? How'd you figure all this out? Because I think, especially whether it's crypto or Web2, the nut that you guys have cracked is not an easy one.
Yeah, no, totally. So I've always been deeply engaged in crypto communities. I've been investing in crypto, as I said, past 7-8 years, but not just investing. I'm the type of person who a new protocol launches, I want to try it the first day. I do like to experiment in the space, and I do jump from community to community over the past 7 years. I've been jumping around, so seeing those experiences and learning from other projects, right? But I think general advice would be it's really about putting the members first, dropping what you think is best, and just really having an ear to the community and letting them help shape the direction of the product. And I think most importantly, make it fun. Yeah. That's what we really try to do. Make it fun. We're having a blast, right? And the community's having a blast. We want to make it an enjoyable experience for everybody. And I think when it's a really authentic experience, especially in the crypto space, people see that, they appreciate that, and they know that's what's happening with AssetDash.
Yeah. No, I think I've been trying to remind myself of that too. Sometimes I get way too far down the tech rabbit hole, and I'm like, all right, I need to come back up and start having a little bit more fun and stop reading as many white papers because you can get lost in the sauce in the white papers.
Yeah. Well, I think there's communities for everything, right? And I think for us, we found what works for AssetDash, so now it's about just doing more of that.
Yeah. No, it's just been super impressive, I think, going back to having that focus on the users, which you guys, you can tell that you prioritize that quite a bit, and then also being able to iterate relentlessly on that user feedback. I just think that's a rare combination within crypto.
Yeah, I totally agree, and we want to build the biggest community in the space. So if you're out there and you're listening, download the app, download our XNFT, go on our website, maybe go buy a Vanta and join us in our Discord. But things are just getting started, and we're really excited about the future.
Amazing. Maybe shifting the conversation a little bit away from AssetDash and just like your personal opinion from being involved in the space for the 7-ish years now. What things have you learned just being involved in the market, even before being at unstoppable domains, bull markets, bear markets? What are the key lessons that you've learned?
Key lessons. So first and foremost, bear markets are for building. They really are. I would say to be able to take advantage of that time, cut out the noise and just focus on what's important. That's really a big thing that I've taken away. Don't be a maximalist, I would say, is another one, right? Like, be open to different ideas, be open to different experiences. And probably the last one is try things on chain. That's like a big thing for me.
Yeah.
You're really going to get those aha moments when you go and, take out your first loan on a protocol, or, make your first swap or buy your first NFT. Doing those experiences is really a great way to get a firm understanding as to what's happening in the space. Reading and seeing things on Twitter is it's great, and it'll help you a bit, but actually going and interacting on chain, I think, is a great way to level up your experience.
Yeah, you'd be surprised by how few people actually do things on chain. I mean, if you just look at the metrics, I mean, even on Ethereum, the more popular applications still don't have very many users.
I know.
And so I think that's the thing where I really want to get the space to, is just having people use the applications on chain at scale. I think is the most exciting and kind of the original promise of Web3 and self-sovereignty. But the second thing that you mentioned was don't be a maximalist, and I couldn't agree more. The hardest part about crypto is in the sense that we have these communities that we love and kind of grow and build together. And the hard part is that community can kind of be one-minded, and kind of how from where it started to where it is today, to, if you want to keep growing, how to expand. And I think that community as well has to be open-minded to slightly deviating from, maybe not the path, or slightly from the path, but not deviate from the vision. And it's harder said than done. And I think the people that I've seen have the most success are the most open-minded and are willing to kind of change their mind in the crypto space.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the infighting in crypto. I feel we have bigger forces to fight outside of crypto. I think everyone in the space should be trying to lift each other up. There's enough room for everybody to win. And, the actual people trying to pull crypto down are not within the space, right? They're entities outside the space that don't want to see it succeed. So I think that's kind of like where my don't be a maximalist view comes from, is, be open to trying different things in the space. Be open to why somebody else might like this protocol over other protocol. And that's the same approach that we take with building our app, right? One of the things I said earlier, we don't care what you invest in. If you invest in something, we want to support it, right? And if we had a firm view about what chain you should be investing on, then we wouldn't have had as much success as we've had, is because we would have just been focused on one chain. Our thing is, if you're investing in something, we want to support it. And we know that people find different areas of the industry interesting. And, we shouldn't shame that or put people down for that. What we should be doing is working together as an industry to, bring us to the next billion users in crypto.
100%. And again, harder said than done. So kudos to you and your team for building that. On that point, though, I think your team has been relatively lean, which, again, is impressive in the fact that you're able to ship so quickly just with a small team. Can you talk about how you guys have been able to execute with a lean team? Are you hiring? Are you looking to grow? Yeah,
so we are a lean team. We think it's super important to be resourceful and scrappy. We've taken that approach from the beginning. I think it's a huge part of our success. Also, we never feel like we're working because we really do love what we're doing. So for me, every day I wake up and I just want to do something to help elevate AssetDash. If hiring, we always have the door open if someone's super talented and interested in what we're doing. Our best hires have come directly from our user base. And I love that, right? And that's what I kind of want to do moving forward, is someone who's already on one of our apps, loves the product, and then sees a way that they can help contribute. We're always open to hiring someone like that. But I do think it's important to stay scrappy and resourceful. And that's how we've done it so far.
No, it's the lean teams. I think it's easy to get excited during the bull markets and be like, we're killing it, we're going to dominate the world, and then hire too many people. And then, unfortunately, with the cyclical nature that crypto is, when the downturn ultimately arises, it's a little bit of a gut check. and founders have to make some hard decisions, unfortunately, because they kind of overestimated the growth with the cyclical nature.
Yeah, I definitely think it's important to be prudent at all times. It's very hard to predict this market, but in general, for us, we have a great squad now, and we really just want to hire all stars. That's like our focus, like people who move the needle. So our doors are always open, right? If the right person comes across, we'll definitely make the hire. But yeah, the last downturn too was aggressive. So I know a lot of companies had to do layoffs and things like that.
In terms of what you're looking forward to in the markets, whether either personally, yourself, or with AssetDash, what are you looking forward to in the future?
Yeah, so I'll share one thing on the AssetDash side, and then I'll share something personally. So on the AssetDash side, I'm really excited for one. Vanta just launched our NFT. I'm excited to really execute on this premium membership concept, and we're already starting to do that and rolling out very cool features. One of those features is going to come out in a few weeks. We're calling it the AssetDash Coins Marketplace. So it's going to be a marketplace where you'll be able to buy NFTs, gift cards, gaming items, so on and so forth, with an in-app currency we're launching called AssetDash Coins. We're stoked for that. Like, starting to see now early iterations of what the marketplace is going to look like. It's going to be extremely exciting and focused on what we love to focus on. It's going to be very fun, right? So I'm really excited to get that out to our members. As far as personally in the crypto space, I do think this next bull market, whenever it does happen, I do think this is the one that's going to capture a ton of users for the long haul. I think the technology is starting to get there where the experiences are getting really good. There's a lot of consumer apps now that make it easy for people to onboard. I think AssetDash is one of those. And I really do think that this is the one where we get a ton of users that come into the space and we're able to retain them because the experiences are smooth. And, you have things like, too, in general, Solana. I think Solana is great for consumers. We launched our NFT on Solana for a specific reason. What Solana has been able to do, and, chilling any particular chain, I'm just talking from my own personal experience, as someone who really values community, what Solana has been able to do to build a community and retain that community through an entire cycle is so impressive. And it's been very hard for, I think, a lot of these other layer ones to grow and maintain that core base. People really love Solana. And I think this next bull market, what's great is that there's going to be a lot of optionality for new users that come in, right? You're going to have a more mature Solana ecosystem. You're going to have a more mature Ethereum ecosystem. You're going to have Bitcoin going on to, its next halving cycle. Bitcoin in itself is going to look very different from its last cycle because now you have everything with ordinals and BRC20. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the rest of the cycle.
No, I definitely echo that. Maybe breaking apart each of those. On the first point, AssetDash Coins.
Yes.
Can you talk more about that?
Yes, AssetDash Coins, really, really excited for this. So we are launching an in-app currency. It's not going to be an actual token on chain. It's just a currency that you can have in our app. Users will be able to get this coin through doing all of the different mechanisms in the app that give you rewards, which there's many today, like taking Learn courses, partaking in our giveaways, opening fortune cookies, so on and so forth. These coins you're going to be able to use in a marketplace that we're launching, and that marketplace is going to have things like NFTs, gaming items, whitelist, gift cards, so on and so forth. And the way we do it is, again, like as I mentioned earlier, a lot of brands want to partner with AssetDash, and what we try to do is you can come into the AssetDash ecosystem, you can launch a Learn course, but we want you to unlock value for our members. And a great way for brands to do that, and a great way for brands to get exposure, is to list their items in this marketplace for our members. And our members can use these AssetDash coins to buy these items. We're super excited about this. V1 will come out later in June, and we'll just continue to build on it. But it's going to be really fun. There's a lot of components that we haven't released publicly yet, but it's going to be very gamified and entertaining. So excited for that. The other point on...
Yeah, so, I mean, maybe just sticking on this.
Yeah.
So, again, I think this just goes back to, like, your product mindset and being able to figure out how to really get that flywheel going. One, with the large customers and like user base that you've built up within AssetDash, but also thinking about who's actually going to help like bring in some of the money and the revenue on the partnership side, and thinking about both of those individually and their experiences, but thinking each, or when you combine those as a whole, and how to create that unifies experience together. That's hard.
Yeah. So this is an experience that's going to happen for sure this summer, and I can't wait for it. You're going to have somebody on AssetDash who only owns stocks. they're going to be getting AssetDash coins because they're going to be, a gold or a platinum or maybe even a Vanta member, right? If they go by then. And they're going to say, you know what? I want to use some of these AssetDash coins to buy this Solana gaming item, this Solana gaming NFT for this project. And that's a great way to onboard yourself into crypto without needing to make any financial investment to begin with. You're going to use your AssetDash coins, right? And for us, the coins concept is basically the Web3 approach to how we see credit card points and loyalty programs is what we're doing with AssetDash coins. So it's going to be really cool to see how our members strategize too with coins. I think you're going to have members who try to save up their coins and use them for, blue chips in the marketplace. But you're going to have other members that are going to say, you know what, no, I want to buy something, every few days, something small. So yeah, we're really excited about that. And again, it elevates the entire experience and creates a really unified product rewards experience.
And from the user perspective, what's the best way for them to earn these coins?
Great question. So the best way is first and foremost to come into the app, verify all your investments, ideally be a Vanta tier member, right? So get a Vanta NFT to be the highest tier, and then be active on the app, right? So once all your accounts are verified, you have a Vanta NFT. By being on the app every day and doing things like taking our AssetDash Learn courses, claiming deals, partaking in giveaways, opening the app daily, checking messages, things like that. By being deeply engaged in the app, you'll get coins throughout for doing these different experiences. You'll also be able to get coins for doing things on our partner platforms, right? So we actually might drop something in our XNFT and say, go do this on our XNFT and you'll get coins, right? And then our members will be able to accumulate these coins and then choose how they want to spend them in the marketplace.
Fascinating. It's pretty cool. You guys have, you can tell you've thought a lot about the entire user experience.
Oh, for sure. For sure, yeah. For us, it's really important, again, to make it fun. So,
yeah. No, you guys are killing it. And then the second thing that you mentioned was kind of on the Solana front. And again, I think this kind of goes back to not being a maximalist and using the products on chain. And I think that has also kind of been my point of view, as well as what ultimately unlocks just the best user experience. And I think Solana was kind of the first of these next generation blockchains that is really prioritizing people using blockchains and having kind of high transaction throughput, having fast finality, low transactions cost. And the result of all those is just you want to use the blockchain and you don't feel bad for using the blockchain, which, going back to what you said, ultimately allows the chain to have a very vibrant ecosystem.
Totally agree. Just my objective opinion, not even related to AssetDash, is my personal opinion as someone who loves crypto markets and is actively involved in them. It's very impressive. I think for me, the part that I think is most impressive of the entire thing has been the community that Solana has built, because that is a very difficult thing to do. But more importantly, it's difficult to maintain that community when the coin drops 90% like all coins do in a bear market. And the Solana ecosystem, I feel like, is stronger than ever. You go into crypto Twitter, everyone's talking about something on Solana. Everyone's talking about a Solana NFT. Everyone's talking about something new that's launching on the Solana blockchain. And to be able to maintain and retain that base is super important, because that's going to be the bedrock for the next cycle, right? And I think that part is really impressive. And then, of course, from a user experience standpoint, it's faster and it's cheap. So you generally have a more enjoyable experience when using it compared to a lot of the others.
I think you and I obviously see this being involved in the Solana community. You launched your NFT on the Solana community. I would say this is starting to change, maybe in the investor world, but for the longest time, Solana just kind of got relentless FUD, and sometimes rightfully so. I think chain had multiple issues, downtime. Why do you feel like other people outside of the direct Solana community are afraid of Solana, or afraid to kind of do things on the Solana ecosystem?
Yeah, I think one is the fact that it's a market, right? So you have people who are heavily incentivized financially to not see Solana do well.
Everybody's got a little bit of bag bias.
Exactly. That's why it's good to spread your bags across different areas, right? You could cheer for a lot of different things.
And use AssetDash.
Yeah, and use AssetDash to track them. Exactly. Great.
Little plug.
That was great. But yeah, I think there's the financial incentive, and then also too, I think it's important for the Solana ecosystem stay strong and support the builders on Solana, right? There's all the hackathons. There's a lot of great products on Solana. Support the builders. Have an open community that other people want to join and take a part of. But yeah, I would say probably a lot of the FUD. There's a lot of money in other places, right? And people don't want competition. But again, my take is the enemies of crypto are not in crypto. They're outside of crypto. In the space, we should all be trying to build each other up.
Yeah, can you talk about that? I do agree as well. The blockchain space relatively, even in terms of total market cap is approximately $1 trillion, which is less than many other asset classes that exist. The user base that people interact with on chain is a couple hundred or a couple million at most. Why there's so much infighting for how small this space is. And then do you think also, maybe following up to, why do you think, particularly the US where we are today, has taken such a kind of crazy stance towards blockchain?
Yeah. So I think the infighting is really because crypto and crypto Twitter is just a very fun video game with financial incentives. And that creates a very unique dynamic that I think leads to a lot of the infighting. Most entertaining game in the world. I love it. It's something I really enjoy being a part of. I think that would lead to a lot of the infighting. I think for the U.S. government, the point that you brought, governments see crypto as a threat because governments understand how much value they have by being able to control the money supply, and obviously they don't want to give up that control. I think in particular the U.S. is making a huge mistake. I think the U.S. should actually be pushing for as much stablecoin adoption as possible because that actually asserts the dominance of the U.S. dollar. I just think our politicians are completely out of the loop and don't understand how things work. And they're also, again, financially incentivized to pretend like they don't understand, right? Or take another side. So yeah, I think the U.S. is getting a lot of things entirely wrong. I think it's leading to other places like, Dubai, Singapore, able to take advantage of the fact that the U.S. is making a lot of mistakes. I really do hope that we get to steer the ship in the right direction. And a big reason why I'm such a big fan of Coinbase, right? Like Coinbase does do a ton of work in this area. It's really cool of them that they spend so much money and so much time and so much of the resources. Obviously, it's important to their business, but they do spend a lot of time trying to get the ship going in the right direction here in the U.S. And I really hope it does, because it would be such a shame if the United States missed out on this once in a lifetime opportunity for innovation.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Just looking back at the early 90s, the U.S. kind of took a little bit of a anti-internet stance for a while, and then I think ultimately reversed that course when they're like, oh shit, like we might lose this race. And I think today why the U.S. is ultimately the global power that it is, even if you just look at the top 500 market cap, they're all tech companies, a vast majority of. And I can definitely envision a world where you have similar dynamics playing out with crypto-focused companies, and crypto kind of being majority of the top companies or protocols or dApps in the world. And so I would say I'm optimistic in the long term that the U.S. will get it right. Maybe short term, a little bit hesitant, but we will definitely see what progresses.
Yeah, I think it's now more important than ever to ensure that the politicians that we're getting into office are, pro crypto, because it's going to benefit the country tremendously. Even people who are not in the crypto sector, right? Any big groundbreaking innovation, we want to be here in the United States. I'm biased as a American citizen, but yeah, we shouldn't let this opportunity pass.
One thing that I've also heard is just founders kind of moving outside of the U.S. Have you heard of that? Is your team ultimately kind of thinking about moving maybe outside of the U.S. if the U.S. gets a little bit more negative towards crypto?
I hear people having that conversation every single week. You talk to any lawyer, crypto lawyer in the space, one of the first things of advice they're going to give you is, well, here's how you can do your company outside the United States. And, it's such a sad thing, right? Because this should be the place that's actually fostering this innovation and pushing forward. So yeah, I think every crypto founder needs to have alternatives in mind. I really hope that things end up changing though, because it's a shame that that's the case.
Yeah, it is definitely unfortunate. I again hope changes their stance long term.
Yeah, they definitely.
Cool. Well, kind of coming to the end of the podcast, I feel like we've covered a lot. Is there anything that you particularly want to touch or feel like we missed out on?
No, I thought this was amazing. I really appreciate it. Incredible scenery. I just want to ask you one question. I didn't get to ask you. What are you looking forward to most in the crypto space?
I think just like you, is user adoption. I mean, when I really got into blockchains and kind of the original promise of like Ethereum once they kind of invented the smart contracts was like the world computer and being able to bring DeFi to people that don't live in these first world countries. They live in these third world countries. They don't have bank accounts. They don't have access to all those like basic building blocks that we've kind of been accustomed to in these first world countries. I was really excited about. And I think where I just became a little disillusioned with the current path that we're on was during the bull market. I paid $1,000 for a Uniswap, and I got more.
What were you swapping?
I was in a leverage position, and I needed to deleverage very quickly. So I did get more value from the swap than otherwise, but it still pained me that I paid that much to actually do the swap. And so I just started to look at different scaling solutions and started really going down the rabbit hole of how Solana was scaling, fell in love with the high throughput kind of architecture that they pioneered. Other chains kind of following suit with Sui, Aptos. And so really just kind of focusing on those ecosystems because I really just want user adoption and people to do things on chain. And I think if you have a slower blockchain and the costs are expensive and it takes really long to finalize transactions, to me it just doesn't feel like a consumer product that people have become accustomed to in the Web 2 world. Maybe if we were back in the early 90s where like people kind of had to log into the internet via like a terminal or didn't really even have Google, these products would have become acceptable. But today, like you press a button and if it doesn't load in like a second, you're bouncing from that website.
Totally.
And so I think when I just wear my product tag like you guys, I see people when I try to introduce them to blockchains and they're like, this is what you're excited about? And they're like, this sucks. Yeah. And now with these newer blockchains, I show them again and they're like, oh, like I have the money in my account right now, like, and it was super cheap to do. That's cool.
Yeah.
And so I'm just excited about adoption. Like you, I think this upcoming cycle will actually be the cycle that brings in like user adoption outside of just speculation. In 2017, we saw like a lot of ICOs and there was no really usable process. DAI came out in the end of the bull market. I think the people that stuck around in that 2018, 2019 bear market are the builders that were ultimately the visionaries of the 2021 bull market. Yep. They killed it. They built it throughout the winter. And we actually have products. Like it's amazing now that we actually have usable products that you can interact with. You can do things on chain. You like AssetDash. You guys are actually building up a big customer base, yep. A vibrant community. That gets me super excited. And I think now that we actually have those working products going into the next couple of years with this bear market, the people that stick around, continue to execute, are going to be the ones that have massive, massive applications on chain. And so I'm stoked about that.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And I really appreciate you having me on. Epic. We'll have to do it again.
No, this was great.
Yeah, great scenery, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming on.
Totally.